Greetings, everyone. The purpose of this short video is really fourfold. First of all, I'd like to make just a few comments about this last week's assignment on Peter Senge's ideas on leadership. Second, I'd like to talk with you briefly about our assignment to this next week on leadership, culture, and change. Third, I want to take just a couple of seconds to make some comments about your leadership project ideas. And then fourth, I want to comment on TaskStream and our ability to get everyone registered and input into TaskStream. So to go first of all, to speak a little bit just about this last week's work, there was some great content in your reports and in your comments to one another this last week on Peter Senge's ideas on leadership. I really appreciate your comments on the importance of teams working together with a shared vision. A question I raised, and I raised this to many of you in your discussion board threads, is what kinds of skills do leaders really need to be able to get people working together and committed in a common direction towards a shared vision. Also, I really appreciate your linking of Jim Collins' ideas and Peter Senge's ideas together, because they do mesh very well. Both ideas and both sets of ideas, in my opinion, represent some excellent forms of transformational leadership theory. So again, I encourage you to continue thinking, and as we look each week, try to link your thoughts together with a previous week's work anyway, in terms of defining leadership and what you're thinking about leadership. This next week, I'm going to be asking you to read about leadership, culture, and change in some articles authored by Ron Heifetz and Marty Linsky and Michael Fullen. I should have specified this earlier, but the reading materials in this course, basically from here on out, are all going to be available in the electronic links in your course pack, and I haven't noted that in Blackboard, so just make sure that you follow those electronic links, and you should be able to find the materials without any difficulty. We'll actually be on the topic of leadership, culture, and change for the next 3 weeks. Basically, what I want you to really study and to think about is the necessity of leaders' ability to understand the culture of organizations and the change process. Briefly, we can define culture as simply the prevailing norms, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors in an organization, or in other words, the way we do things, our traditions, if you will, and our celebrations. Change, however, is how we have to change the things around us in order to continue to meet the needs of outside of our organization anyway. And what happens with leadership is that the need to change and the prevailing culture of an organization frequently come into conflict with one another. And so leaders really have to do a very good job of understanding, first of all, what the culture of the organization is, and then secondly, what needs to be changed and how to go about that given the prevailing culture. Jim Collins makes some really good statements about this, and we didn't talk much about this in Jim Collins' work, but Jim Collins says that leaders have to be absolutely clear about the things that should never change, or in other words, the fundamental beliefs in the organization about the quality of people who work there, etc. But then also have to be clear about the kinds of things that can change, or in other words, policies, procedures that need to be changed to meet the demands around us. So we'll be talking about those concepts over about the next 3 weeks, and I'll add a number of sources to our conversations as well that are not in your readings that I hope will help you think at a little deeper level anyway about the notion of culture and change. Thanks to you who have already responded to me on your information on your leadership projects. That information again is to be submitted in a link that's been created for you in the leadership project button. My goal is to respond back and report back to each of you this next week on your ideas on leadership. If you've not yet posted the results of your interviews and your leadership ideas, please be sure to do that as soon as possible. And then finally, I did want to make a quick comment on TaskStream. If you look back in the Module 2 tab, you will see that we really have still not received the key yet in order to enroll in TaskStream. So I've kind of put that off a little bit longer. What I'll probably end up doing is just post something to you in an announcement once I receive that key. And so don't worry about trying to enroll in TaskStream right now. We can't do that until we get an electronic key, and I'll inform you as soon as I receive that. So that about takes care of everything for this week. Have a great week, and again, please don't hesitate to ask questions along the way. Be sure to contact me with any questions or comments about the course. Take care.